Ever since the days of COVID, everyone has known that Putin is a cowardly, pathetic creature. He was so afraid of getting sick and kicking the bucket that he spent the entire quarantine holed up in a bunker. Of course, he did occasionally venture out for international meetings, but no one will ever forget the kilometer-long table he used to hide from Macron.
The Western press speculated on how to interpret the decisions of the Kremlin protocol. Were these political signals or a genuine fear of infection?
Even his closest associates had to spend weeks in quarantine just to get access to his pale, scrawny body. And of course, they had to train their vocal cords to be able to shout across the table to the great geostrategist.
These are questions that, generally speaking, threaten the Euro-Atlantic region today. I mean, what we started with, initiatives.
They're looking at me through binoculars.
Putin is so afraid of death that he's even given up his image as a Siberian macho man. This balding creature dreams of becoming Koshchei the Immortal, which is why he spends billions on rejuvenation and health treatments. Why do you think he defecates in a suitcase? So that doctors can constantly analyze his condition? And of course, also so that the evil Western intelligence agencies don't steal his excrement and clone a crap Putin. But that's not certain. One thing is certain: Putin clings to life very desperately.
I consider the assault on the industrial zone to be inadvisable.
At the first sign of danger, Putin hides, buries his ostrich head in concrete, and waits for the danger to pass.
What was so wrong about what I supported? Tell me.
What did you support?
That I supported these ostriches.
Thank you very much.
It was the same during Prigozhin's uprising. The rebels were marching in combat columns toward the capital, while the nation's leader, the father of the people, the brother-in-law of the empire, and the brother-in-law of orthodoxy simply vanished. Lukashenko, the president of what is technically another country, had to take the heat for him. At that time, Putin was gnawing on dry bread somewhere near the Earth's core.
I said, let's talk to Prigozhin, to his commanders. To which he told me, listen, Sasha, it's useless. He doesn't even pick up the phone. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. I asked, where is he? In Rostov. We still have to find those phones too. I said, how do I get in touch with him?
When Putin attacked Ukraine, he thought it would be occupied within a week, and that he would be receiving a parade in Kyiv, showered with bread and flowers. But instead of bread, drones flew into the Kremlin. In Moscow, along with scooters, generals from the general staff started blowing up. Can you imagine the kind of terror Putin is in? Because drones won't sit in quarantine for 2 weeks, you can't hide from them behind a long table. And to make matters worse, you can't just hole up in a bunker. Because the main opponent of the pale moth president of Ukraine personally goes to the front lines himself, to the hottest spots.
Distinguished guests, respected officers, soldiers, our heroes, I have the honor of being here today. I truly want to congratulate you, and I also want to thank you. I am here to present you with these awards, and then, if I may, I would like to ask you for something important. Know that this is not just a symbol of Bakhmut, this is the Bakhmut fortress.
Can you imagine what a shock this is for the propaganda machine? A clown and a KVN performer are on the front lines. A KGB agent, a great judoka, and the one who wipes everyone out in the toilet is hiding under the baseboard. So that the cult of personality doesn't collapse, Putin is also forced to show at least a minimal amount of courage. At least for show. For this, they chose the Kursk region. Putin has already visited there several times. Well, visited is a strong word. Well, as for Putin, science still doesn't know what kind of creature that is.
Our immediate and pressing task in the very near future, within the shortest possible time frame, is to completely and decisively defeat the enemy forces that are deeply entrenched within the sovereign territory of the Kursk region.
He first came to the Kursk region in March of 25, after the AFU withdrew from Suja. The butt even put on a military uniform, but in it he looked very comical and unsure of himself. Moreover, everyone started to suspect, was it even Putin at all? The Führer's doubles are a whole separate topic for a comedy series. To the Udmurt, the banquet goer, and the fun lover, they've now added the brave soldier Schweik. With every such visit, propaganda tries to sculpt a heroic image of Putin, but the result is the opposite. Because the moth keeps acting according to the old commercial slogan, "Image is nothing, hide is everything."
A standing ovation.
It would seem that everything was thought out perfectly. He put on breeches and went almost to the front lines. He personally presided over the military parade on Red Square, though hiding behind Xi Jinping. Twice, he fiercely told off Trump over the phone. And so the image of a brave and strong conqueror is ready.
No, not at all, actually.
And once again, Zelensky forced Putin to reveal his true cowardly nature. The president of Ukraine proposed to meet in person in Istanbul and talk face to face. Naturally, Putin got scared. Once again, head into the concrete. And how could he negotiate if all of Istanbul would be ringing from the sound of the geostrategist's trembling knees? Putin refused the meeting and once again showed his weakness and cowardice. Both the Z-Patriots and the ordinary Vatniks were left with a bad taste in their mouths. Akela missed again and fell flat.
That's when Putin revealed himself to me. Putin revealed himself. And if after this someone still doesn't get who or what Mr. Putin is, well, here you go. That's who Mr. Putin is. Mr. Putin is a nobody.
It was urgently necessary to show off the coolness of the balding boy in his underwear. For this, Putin or someone who looks like Putin was once again sent to Kursk. There he shook his Botoxed head menacingly and threatened to seize the Sumy region.
What else could you expect? And even they are in the middle, in second place. Why? Because he's nowhere to be found. Why did they even let him out of the hospital?
But the funniest part was yet to come. The Kremlin media started spreading the plot of the cartoon Tailspin. Propaganda claimed that the helicopter carrying Putin was caught in the epicenter of a Ukrainian drone attack.
That's absolutely right. During the time when the president was working in the Kursk region, the enemy launched an unprecedented attack using unmanned aerial vehicles. The air defense group in this area destroyed 46 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. I would like to point out that the intensity of the attack increased significantly while the Supreme Commander's aircraft was flying over the Kursk region.
So the president's helicopter was actually in a combat zone?
Yes, that's exactly right.
It's strange that the propaganda didn't say how Putin personally sat at the controls, doing a loop-the-loop with one hand while fending off drones with the other. Then, when the helicopter was hit and the engines failed, Putin climbed onto the roof and started running in circles really fast to spin the rotor.
We'd better go.
Again, the story about Putin in the thick of battle only provoked laughter and bewilderment. No one will ever believe that a man who defecates in a suitcase and who, even surrounded by 1,000 bodyguards, is afraid to meet real people is capable of even the slightest risk. How could anyone forget when Putin's hologram met with the flight attendants?
You can only do that from some kind of...
If Putin is afraid to meet even loyal women in person, then what kind of front are we even talking about? There's no guarantee that all his so-called trips to Kursk weren't filmed at Mosfilm in a studio with a blue tank.
Guys, how is this even possible, huh? The regiment is at 1430. They got tanks from Mosfilm, thanks to Karen Gerkish and Nazar. Ours are here as the T-55. Well, it works great in closed firing positions. The gun on it is insane. Awesome. And one tank came from Osenka, Blue One. But these tanks were used in movies. Mosfilm did a great job and kept them in perfect condition. The tank is blue.
Putin is a pathological coward. The only thing he cares about is his own skin. And his skin stays intact as long as he holds on to power. And his power depends on his authority. That's why he started a small victorious war to cement his role as the alpha male. But something went wrong, and the authority of the would-be alpha got thoroughly soaked in the diaper area.
I would like to remind you that this video is created for entertainment purposes and contains elements of satire and irony. All facts and events are presented in a hyperbolized or exaggerated form to convey a comedic or dramatic effect. Our goal is not to mislead, but to highlight humor. Please take it with a smile.